Fallout from the torture report. Senate Democrats insist that releasing it was the right thing to do.
History will judge us by our commitment to a just society governed by law and the willingness to face an ugly truth and say never again.
So that was Dianne Feinstein, chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, defending the report, which cost $40 million and 6 years to put together. Here are the highlights of what we learned. First, graphic details of the CIA's torture techniques, such as rectal feeding and sleep deprivation. At least one detainee died of suspected hypothermia. The CIA lied in claiming that torture helped find Osama bin Laden. They also lied to Congress and foreign ambassadors over the scale and brutality of the program. In total, 119 people were held, including 26, wrongfully so, who were later judged to have nothing to do with terrorism. Nice. Well, the U.S. is bracing for a backlash at American posts all over the world. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel says he's ordered the military to prepare for retaliation following the report.
I have ordered all of our combatant commanders to be on high alert everywhere in the world. We don't have any specific information or intelligence to show that there is anything out there that would lead us to do anything beyond high alert right now. But yes, we were concerned about the content of that report being declassified.
Human rights advocates are calling for prosecution. The 1949 Geneva Conventions ratified by the U.S. prohibits torture of prisoners during wartime. President Obama has decided not to pursue indictments, but he did have this to say.
Unfortunately, as the Senate report shows, we engaged in some brutal activity after 9/11. I think that any fair-minded person looking at this would say that some terrible mistakes were made in allowing these kinds of practices to take place, in part because I think study after study has shown that when people get tortured, when people are beaten, when people are put in a position of severe stress and pain, oftentimes they're willing to say anything to alleviate that stress and pain. And so the information we get isn't necessarily better than doing things the right way.
Senator John McCain agrees with the president. The former prisoner of war is the most notable Republican to support the release of the report.
The truth is sometimes a hard pill to swallow. It sometimes causes us difficulties at home and abroad. It is sometimes used by our enemies in attempts to hurt us. But the American people are entitled to it nonetheless. They must be able to make informed judgments about whether those policies and the personnel who supported them were justified in compromising our values, whether they served a greater good, or whether, as I believe, they stained our national honor, did much harm and little practical good.
Many of McCain's colleagues disagree.
This particular release, in my judgment, serves no purpose whatsoever other than to endanger Americans around the world at a time of growing concern about the rise of terrorism. The president seemed to declare the war on terror over a while back. The terrorists obviously didn't get the message.
This is a highly partisan report put out by a group of Democrats that are about to lose the gavel and lose the majority in a watershed election. To look at this and to say that the information that was retrieved by the Central Intelligence Agency using these techniques was not helpful in saving American lives does a couple things. Number one, it's revisionist. It's absolutely not true.
There was information provided by Abu Zubaydah, which led us eventually to Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the mastermind of the 9/11 attack on the United States. So to say there was no actionable intelligence is incorrect.